to a family dispute in New Jersey. This one's getting worldwide attention. An 18-year-old girl taking her parents to court seeking financial support after she left home. NBC's Stephanie Gosk has the latest on this. Steph, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. Well, this case boils down to an age-old problem. Teenagers versus their parents. It's a battle normally fought at home, not in a courtroom in front of a judge and TV cameras. The actual hearing has yet to begin, but an early motion went squarely in the parents' favor.
She's always going to be your daughter, and they're always going to be your parents.
The truth laid bare for the Canning family in a New Jersey courtroom. 18-year-old Rachel is suing her parents, Sean and Elizabeth, for money they won't give her to finish high school and go to college. The court session was the first time they had seen each other since October. There were no embraces, not even a hello. At times, Rachel's parents wept. Their daughter, an honor roll student, athlete, and cheerleader, left home last fall under circumstances that each side disputes. In the lawsuit, Rachel claims she was subjected to severe and excessive verbal and physical abuse by my mother and father.
These people have not called her. They have not come to see her. They have not sent a penny to her.
Her parents deny any abuse and say they were just laying down the law for a teenager who was suspended from school, drinking, and dating a boy they really didn't like.
Come home, subject to these rules.
On his Facebook page, Sean Canning, a former police chief, says his daughter's allegations simply never happened. In Tuesday's court session, Rachel's lawyer argued that she needed emergency financial assistance while the case proceeded. The judge did not agree.
We want to establish a precedent where parents live in constant fear of establishing basic rules of the house. Since if they institute a rule that Junior doesn't like, Junior can move out. He can move in with another family. He can sue for child support, attorney's fees, car, a cell phone, and a few $100,000 in college.
For the moment, Rachel is living with the family of a close friend. They are paying living expenses and legal fees. The judge recommended that the family seek counseling before they come back for a scheduled court appearance in April. Matt.
It's Stephanie Gosk on the story for us. Steph, thanks very much. NBC legal analyst Karen DeSoto is a former prosecutor and defense attorney who's worked as a legal advocate for children. Karen, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Matt.
It's hard to watch this because what you're watching is a family unit coming apart at the seams right in front of your eyes. How often are cases like this brought?
Very rare. You're not going to see cases like this. These cases are kind of reserved for celebrities, people who have a lot of money. You see these in the context of custody or divorce cases, but not a married couple with a child who wants cash.
Charges and counter charges. The daughter says she was basically kicked out of the house. The parents say no, she left because she refused to obey our rules. It brings up the concept of emancipation. Legally speaking, when it comes to a family, how's it defined?
Okay, so in New Jersey, there's case law that says if you're under 21, you could be an unemancipated adult. So if you're very vulnerable, let's say you're still in high school like she is, the court can say that you have an obligation to support them if you were doing that in the past, and that's what she's trying to do. If she was under the sphere of their influence, there is case law that says that she is entitled to some payment.
Meanwhile, the parents say she's welcome to come home, but there's an email where she basically says, I don't want to come home. Does that weaken her case?
Well, I don't know. That sounds like a teenager to me, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to go back and forth. She's going to say, I was abandoned, I was neglected, and the parents are going to say, listen, she just didn't want to follow our rules, that she's being spoiled brat, and this is nothing more than that.
The judge sent them away, said, please seek counseling. It's badly needed in this situation. He clearly is trying to avoid this going to trial. Why? What precedent is he trying to avoid?
I think he's probably trying to avoid violence at this point, because I know that if it was my parents, my head would probably be on the other side of the courtroom floor. But obviously, if you're a judge, right, you don't want to set a precedence like that. You want, he's saying, what if it is the case where the parents just want them to follow the rules? Are you going to say, what's the first thing your parents say to you? If you don't like it, there's the door, right? That's what we all say to our kids. So if you are now going to say...
Courts will be clogged with those cases.
Exactly. There's the door, but you know what? I want my trust fund on the way out. So the judge is going to say, listen, can I see both attorneys in my chambers? Guess what? You know what? Maybe you should go to mediation. Maybe you guys should really sit down and talk. This is not something that I want to be in a position to rule on, because either side may not like my ruling.
And we'll see what happens. Karen DeSoto. Karen, thanks very much.